four-time Miss Olympia Jay Cutler. Welcome to my channel, Jay Cutler TV, and make sure to stay in tune with the newest and updated videos. Subscribe below, guys. Thank you so much for following along.
Hey guys, welcome to the newest episode of Be Built by Broser. I'm here at Gold's Gym, the Mecca. You can see there's some pretty interesting characters behind me, such as former Mr. Olympia, Dexter Jackson. So anyway, we're going to, since we're in contest season right now, I want to continue to talk about and show things that are means a lot to you guys who are getting ready for shows. And one of the exercises we want to show today is a sissy squat. We have shown it before on the show, but a long time ago. I want to show it again and show you the finer details that how to do this rarely used movement. Now, of course, this is not a movement that replaces heavy squatting, hack squatting, leg pressing, and all that stuff before you guys say it to me.
Don't even start, yeah.
Right. This is just a movement for detail, and it is probably the best exercise for quads to bring out detail in the middle portion of the quads. The vastus rectus femoris and the vastus intermedialis that runs down the center of the quads. You can really have those deep splits in the quads on stage, both when you're flexing the quads in the relaxed position and also when you're doing like a most muscular or an ab shot. So I'm going to have Dave demonstrate this to you today and show you the finer points of the exercise, because you have to do it right in order to get the most out of it, and it will definitely help you in a contest prep to add more detail to the thigh. Knees down, almost touching the ground, up on the balls of feet, and pushing through that same plane. And this will activate the entire quadriceps, of course, but it will very, very strongly activate the middle portion of the quads, the rectus femoris, the vastus intermedialis, to build some size and thickness into those muscles so the quads are more detailed. We're not using any weight. He uses about a 3-second descent. Sometimes we go longer. Sometimes we hold the stretch at the bottom for a few seconds. But today he's just holding for about 1 full second, getting a full stretch, pushing through to the top, and making very sure not to pull on the bar. As you can see, he's not really gripping it hard. The only time he might want to pull on the bar is if he's giving himself a forced rep at the end. And that's how you do the sissy squat. Okay guys, what I want to show you today is an exercise that works the biceps, yes, but it also works very strongly the brachioradialis in the forearm, and the brachialis, which is a small muscle, which is a flexor of the forearm, and it lies underneath the biceps, and it gives a lot of detail and density and a 3D look to the arm, especially like in a back of a bicep shot, or even when the arms are hanging from the side, because it's a small, almost like a ball that it's underneath the biceps, and when it's developed, it actually will pop. Another thing that developing the brachialis will do is it'll help to push the biceps up a little bit higher, which is really the best way to try to increase the so-called peak of the biceps. You can't literally change the shape of the biceps muscle, but if you can build the brachialis, you can actually push the bicep up a little bit higher and have the illusion of a greater peak. This is going to be done on a low cable using an incline bench, which is going to serve as a preacher bench, and it's going to be done with about 15 pounds, only 15 to 20 pounds on the low cable. We're not even going to have a handle on there. As you're going to see when Dave demonstrates, he's just going to grab the bottom of the cable, and we're going to use a hammer grip. So it's going to be like a hammer, a low hammer preacher curl using a cable. It's got a very, very excellent contraction at the top, which is why I like it, because if you got to really contract hard at the top to activate the brachialis, and it's a very strict movement. Use about 3 seconds down, 1 second at the bottom, 1 second up, and a 1 second hold at the top. Like I said, a great movement for creating the illusion of a better peak biceps and more density and thickness to the upper arm. Okay guys, so here's the setup. Lower pulley, incline bench, set about 45 degrees or so. This is something that you can actually play with a little bit. Make it a steeper angle or not as steep. See how it feels. Do it from workout to workout a little differently. See how his feet is positioned here. They're positioned one in front of the other, almost like in a one-arm row type of a position. This helps to get his torso right where he wants it. As you can see, he's curling with a hammer grip. Just holding on to the end of the handle, the little ball at the end. And like I said, we're working the brachialis, which is right here. You see it's that little ball that sticks out into the biceps. And the brachioradialis, which is here in the forearm, as we want to fill in this area up here, make it thicker. I'll go around on the other side. Now, as you can see, of course, we are working the biceps. The biceps is still the strongest flexor of the forearm, but turning the wrist in this position and putting it on a preacher bench creates some slack in the biceps and forces the brachialis to work harder. A great movement for detailing the upper arm.
Hi guys, this is the Ask Merlin Monday section of our show, and as you can see, we're branding the name Merlin. It's taken off. Ian, what do you feel about that? That's kind of cool. People are sending you gifts now, Merlin puppets and Merlin keychain.
Yeah, well, speaking of gifts, then I just got this one. This Merlin. Thank you, Kathy Cullen.
That's awesome.
She also sent me, I'll put it on, I'll take a picture of it. She sent me this little Mickey Mouse Merlin wizard thing. Really,
when did
really
I
cool.
start with that license plate and that name? That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it all started with you nicknaming me Merlin, the physique magician, and the license plate, and then it just took off from there. And so, yes, thank you to Kim Bridges for getting us the
awesome cup. Yeah, we love it.
She got that for the entire team, including myself, for the West Coast Classic. We all got one.
Yeah.
And now people are asking, where can I get one? So
you may have to start selling merch, man.
well, yeah, it looks like merch is up on deck, and we're getting that into place. But anyway, yes, we do have a question today for Ask Merlin. And this question comes from Chase. I don't know if I'm saying your last name right, but it's Volhaber is my guess. And Chase just competed in the round 3 of the Lean and Mean challenge for All Max,
nice.
And I believe won one of the honorable mention placings, and won a nice prize package. And now actually he signed up with me for coaching, and he's gonna we're gonna do a show together soon. He wanted to know about carb cycling during contest prep, if that's something that if I use that with all my competitors, or whether I just keep carbs at a certain level. And that's really a good question, because we do like to talk about contest prep stuff this time of the year, since everybody's got shows. And the answer to it is that I do not use it with everyone, but I use it with some people. Some people, there already is some type of carb cycling involved in all my diets, in the sense that I use higher carbs on training days and lower carbs on non-training days. And with those adjustments will also come possibly some adjustments to fats and to proteins as well. So there is a built-in carb recycling to all my diets, but in terms of traditional carb cycling, I generally will not use it. I'll use a progressive approach where I'll lower carbohydrates each week going into a show, or I may leave the carbohydrates the same and raise cardio. However, there are times and there are certain people who do require carb cycling because their metabolism is a little bit more stubborn and needs to be tricked a little bit more often. So when I find that a person benefits from it, I will use it, and that'll be something where, along the lines, to give you an example, Dave Borlay, who is holding the camera, with carb cycling with him, we will do a very low carb day on off days, and then we may have a medium carb day. Let's just say a medium carb day, we've got 200 grams of carbs for the day on upper body training days, and then maybe on lower body training days go higher carb, like 300 plus, and that may be adjusted throughout the cycle. We have even used even a low, medium, high, and very high carb day as well. So it depends on how prep is going. Another time that I will use carb cycling is if my normal approach is not working, and I don't feel that they're losing body fat fast enough, and their metabolism becomes sluggish, or perhaps they've plateaued for a week or two. I may put some carb cycling in there just to keep the metabolism a little bit more off balance, make sure that the thyroid is functioning well. So it really depends. Again, everything that I do is based on the individual and their individual progress, how their metabolism works, how the prep is going. There's nothing that's cookie cutter. So to answer your question, I use carb cycling when I feel it's necessary, but if I don't feel that it's necessary and everything's going well, and I feel that there's no reason to use it. There's nothing magical about carb cycling. It's just that you have to base everything on the individual and how their body works. So sometimes I use it and sometimes I don't. That's it.
Thanks, Merlin.
Got it.